And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. This is episode number 48, and of course, I'm your host, Vic, aka MrNeverChillin, and of course, I'm joined by my co host, Lunatic Oblivion.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since we've been here, you know. It's a nice fun Sunday here. 90 degrees outside, so it's quite warm. The winter is gone, and we got to beat a bunch of games this week actually. What games did you beat this week, Vic?
Oh man, where do I start? Well, beat Trek to Yomi, which was really fun. Also beat Tunic as well, as
hmm
long, and also Dying Light 2, which the stream saw earlier today when we played it. But what about you? I know you were beating some games as well.
Yeah, so this week I ended up beating Dying Light 2 with you as we had on a stream just a little bit ago. I also beat Trek to Yomi as well this week. And I beat Ashtree Ascending. So two of which were Game Pass games. Trek to Yomi, nice and short but sweet, fun game. Ashtree Ascending is one of those JRPGs that Microsoft is using to try to lure more people from the Eastern markets into Game Pass. And honestly, it was a garbage game, so I'm kind of not seeing like them being able to really pull the market in with stuff like this. But, Dying Light 2, that was something.
Yeah,
It definitely did not weigh up to the original game in any way. I felt like they gave us way too many chances to make choices, and they were like, "Are you sure? Are you doubly sure?" And you just like it. And then some of the choices felt like they didn't matter. And then like we thought we killed people off, and then they're like, "No, I'm not dead." And you're like, "Wait, why? I have killed you. Please just stay dead."
right. Like we killed
Uh,
Hakon 4 times. We watched him die with the arrow in his chest, and then we beat his ass and killed him 3 times in the same battle.
Twice. And then we said, "Okay, don't get near me." And he's like, "Bitch, I'm about to fuck you up." And you're like, "All right, three times the charm, I guess." I felt like the SpongeBob meme. It's like, how many times do I have to teach you, old man?
Right. Yeah, I mean the game was just all over the place, from the writing to the
Mhm.
storytelling to just a lot of the animations and the
There's just
graphics. It was just
so much.
the cut to black
It,
was just too much. It was a meme after a while. And it's just like a hard cut to the black. You're like, damn. And then you come out of a
dude,
black just to go like one step to go back to another black screen to another cutscene. You're like, you could have
yeah,
just did one long cutscene at that point.
yeah, and it's like when you cut to black and cut back from black, it's like you finish a cutscene and then the cutscene puts you exactly where the cut away from black is gonna put you. So now I'm like, well, I didn't even move. Why didn't the cutscene just fluid right into it? But
Right.
no, it has to do this cut to black, which is kind of jarring all the time. And we talked about it before on stream how jarring this is. It's just it doesn't feel good. Just feels like bad game design over and over again. But I don't want to harp too much on this game. I want to kind of talk about, where the game is going after this because crazy enough, they're deciding to make a sequel, but people are actually looking for the sequel to be about the main character as that more powerful being. Sort of, we take it out of the realm of where it was in the realism. It's a zombie plague, and you're a survivor, and you're trying to help people. Now you are. It feels like Resident Evil. Like as you were saying on stream, they have all these throwbacks or these memes to other games, and to me, one of the things that first did it for me was when the main character's like, I'm gonna turn into a giant monster, or when the enemy did it. And it's like, this is just Resident Evil 5 all over again, I think it is. Like, or Resident Evil 4, one of them, where the guys with the black tinted glasses inside, they inject themselves with the parasites so they can become Superman and they start attacking you. And it's like, well, somebody already did this and they did it better. And I hate to say a bad Resident Evil game did it better than Dying Light 2.
And that's an understatement for sure. But they did announce the roadmap for Dying Light 2, where they have like a new faction-inspired free DLC, some new challenges, I guess, a series of events, Mutated, Infected, which just came out recently for us to check out,
hmm
and then some more challenges that are coming out, I guess, later this month or early next month. And then the first story DLC, I guess, I got pushed back a little bit, delayed, whoop-de-doo. But I don't think like they have 5 years worth of support and content for this game, and I'm just like, I already uninstalled it, and I don't even want to go back to this game. Like it's just like, all right, cool, I'm done, on to the next. Like I could care less what
Yeah.
happens.
Like for me at this point, if a story DLC comes out, I'll probably play it just to see if they fix the game. Because, like, for me, I really liked Dying Light 1, and I thought
Right.
the story DLC that came after it, where you leave the city and you're fighting outside of the city in the first game, I felt good. I liked it. But then this one, it just felt like it regressed and the developers learned nothing, or it was completely new developers. It didn't feel like there was that same care for what made the game good originally.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how this game progresses, and obviously Dying like 3 or whatever they decide to call it is a long ways off, at least 5 years plus. I would hope.
Yeah.
I would say probably right around like the 7, 8 year mark is when we'll get a Dying Light 3 next generation, whatever the PS6 and the next.
Next generation. Yeah.
Right at this point, it's going to come out when GTA 6 comes out. At this point.
But yeah, it definitely was a jarring experience. It wasn't fun, and it like for me, I bought the game. That's the worst part. It wasn't a Game Pass game.
Right.
So I had to pay for this. And I wish it was Game Pass. I feel like I got memed because it wasn't Game Pass.
Right, we're getting lucky with all these Game Pass games. I mean, the last like 3 or 4 games that I beat were all in Game Pass. I beat, like I said, Tunic, Sable, Trek to Yomi. They're all in like smaller games, but they're
Yeah.
all on Game Pass. I had
Well,
no.
like I would have rather paid for Trek to Yomi than I would have paid for Dying Light 2.
That's an understatement. But yeah, man. Let's get into our episode this week. We're gonna start off here with the game releases. There's not too many here that stand out to me, but we got a couple of games that we're gonna cover that came out last week. Umurgari Generation. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Umurangi Generation. It's a photojournalism kind of game where you're a paparazzi character, but like it's fast paced and you're sliding around, jumping up and down, trying to avoid people and get these like paparazzi photos. So it looks interesting, but it's going to be on the Xbox Series X and S as well as the Xbox One. That came out on the 17th.
Yep, and then we had Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song came out on both PS4, PS5, Xbox Series XS and One, Switch, PC, and that came out on the 19th. It's like a vampire like survival kind of game. Next up here we
But
got.
you are the vampire though. That's the thing.
Right, yeah, and
So it's a story driven game about kind of deciding it almost feels to me like one of those essentially you choose your own adventures, but you're a vampire now, so you're at least somewhat powerful and such.
right. Next one up here, one that's actually interesting to me at least is Dolmen, PlayStation 5 and 4, Xbox Series X and S and One. Also, PC came out actually just the other day on the 20th. Um, this game looks really interesting to say the least. I love the aesthetic to it. It's being developed by Massive Works Studio, and it's like an action game, and it's just like there's a lot of like souls like in it, survival like futuristic sci-fi stuff going on. So it looks really cool, but it has like a dark tone to it.
Yeah, it's man versus alien, and it's sort of a resource management game where you have guns and you have power-ups and stuff, but you have to kind of manage, your melee and your guns because your melee uses a power source that your guns use because your guns are energy based.
Hmm.
But it seems like a Souls-like game that is sort of based in a Metroid style world almost, it feels like.
Right. Next up, we got a PC game here, Hard Space Shipbreaker, which comes out on the 24th here. Uh, not really
It
no.
is it's a ship
It's a
it's
simulation game.
essentially just sort of like if you had Viscera cleanup crew, it's sort of like one of those casual games where the idea is you're just cleaning up stuff. So as shipbreaker, your whole goal is to go around dismantling ships in space as a salvage engineer because human waste and stuff is a problem here on Earth, and so the idea is as mankind evolves, we kind of leave all of our shit in space, whether it be satellites, spaceships, just waste and debris that floats through the atmosphere or through the cosmos. Well, Shipbreaker is about you getting contracts and slowly dismantling these big ass ships with your different tools.
Right. Next up, we got Nino Cooney Crossworlds. This is like a basically a mobile game, but it's also on the PC, coming out on the 25th.
It's an MMO though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So the fans of Nino Cooney will know that Nino Cooney is a game developed between anime, movie, cinematic legend, the creators of My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, all these big hit, movies that really kind of made Westerners love anime movies in
Hmm.
like for the mainstream.
Right.
They're the artist for Nino Cooney, which is a series that started in 2010 on the PlayStation. This is now the MMO sort of phone game as opposed to a first person story game. So you fight alongside your friends and other people in the Nino Cooney world instead of controlling multiple characters. You play as one character in a party of many.
Right. Next up, we got Roller Champions, which come out to last gen, basically PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 25th. It's just a roller derby game made by, unfortunately, Ubisoft here, so it's probably microtransaction galore, and doesn't look too appealing to
But it
me.
also has like it's also like not just roller derby, but also it has like a ball in it too.
Right, that's what roller derby is.
I didn't realize roller derby had a ball.
Hmm.
Like so, yeah. It
So it doesn't look too appealing. Next
no.
up, we got Sniper Elite 5 coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series XS and 1, and PC on the 26th. This is also one of those games that's coming to Game Pass, so might check it out. I've never played a Sniper Elite game, but I've heard that they were pretty good. Just
Hmm.
missed out on obviously the first four. You just play as this sniper doing these elite missions and stuff, and it still has like that slow mo. It'll do the X-ray if you get like a headshot or like a killing blow, stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And of course, being on Game Pass, it gives you a chance to check it out. And if you don't like it, uninstall. No loss there.
Move on, yeah.
But how many? What we got here? We got Cowie. I don't know. The
Cow the Kangaroo.
Guru.
Cow the Kangaroo is coming out for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 27th. This game is oddly reminiscent of your style of Ratchet and Clank, your
Spiral.
uh Tao the Tasmanian Tiger, I think. A bunch of these older style, like, action adventure games. This is just one that's going to be on next gen and old gen. I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass though.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's been announced for Game Pass just yet. I mean, if at all. But it seems interesting. I don't know if I'll buy this. I might just wait to see if it comes to Game Pass. This isn't a game that's going to
Yeah,
be on my
exactly.
radar, for sure. But last but not least here, this one here is called Pac-Man Museum Plus. It's basically just a collection of all the Pac-Man games remastered more or less, and it's coming to all platforms: Xbox Series X and S1, PS4, no PS5 on all this here. That's interesting. Switch and PC, and that's coming out here on the May 27th. So check that out if you've always been a fan of Pac-Man for sure. Oh,
Oh, also with Cow the Kangaroo, this is actually a remastered edition of a game, a quite old game actually. It looks like. So we may be seeing some of these older games coming back again, which is pretty cool.
hmm, did not know that. Yeah, it looks like it first came out in 2000. Jeez, 22 years ago. I was in we were in like kindergarten, first grade time.
Yep.
But that's enough of our game releases. Hopefully, we get a big week next week. Because I'm definitely June's going to be a big month in gaming anyway for announcements and the shows, the showcase, which we're going to cover and whatnot. But let's go. Let's dive into our industry news this week. Activision Blizzard. It never fails.
Yet
They're
again.
they're in the news every week, and 99% of the time it's negative, and it does not fail here. They are sending out anti-union emails ahead of the Raven Software's unionization vote, and I'm just like, you literally just
Of
are
course
just
they are.
blind. You're just like, I'm tunnel
Why
vision,
wouldn't they?
don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? When are they going to learn their lesson? Like all these lawsuits that just keep piling on from different states, they're just like, nah, we don't care. We're just going
Let's
to keep
try it
doing bad
again.
stuff.
Well, the thing is, they know they're in trouble once these people unionize, so that if they don't stop it, they're going to be in worse trouble than if they got caught. Like at this point, they have nothing to lose. They're already losing. So, like, if they do this, they get some bad PR, but at least maybe they'll stop a union. It's it's sad to say, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And of course, Netflix has been in the news a lot lately too here, but this one kind of a head scratcher to me. And I put it in here because it's not necessarily related to gaming yet, I'm thinking, but they're looking into doing live streaming, and that's necessarily like for their comedy specials or different TV shows that they want to do, like documentary series and stuff like that. But what about games? Like Netflix wants to get into the game so heavily. Why don't they just create like a streaming platform like Twitch or YouTube? That's what I'm curious to see if they could get into. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the market's too thick already, and for them to try to jump in would probably end up in a bigger money sink. Because let's be honest here, Netflix is so far in the hole right now, they don't know what to do. They're losing. They're bleeding money like crazy, you know? So at this point, Netflix just they have no way to save themselves, and I think investing in a new project like that is going to flop because I think the game thing was their biggest flop lately, and it's going to continue to flop until the end of the year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It'd be like when we covered about a couple weeks ago when they talked about they want to have 50 games by the end of the year, and I'm just like,
Good
oh,
luck.
50 games, like that's a lot from a publisher, like and a new one at that. Like Netflix, you just started, bro. Like slow down. Maybe do like five and see how it is. Test the waters out.
Yeah, they're kind of like we need to go all in because we need to get these people back, and they're just they're floundering.
Right.
That's
Uh,
what it is.
but some good news this week from the industry that I'm actually excited for is AMC is actually creating an Alan Wake TV show, and I think it's perfect. It just keeps adding to the long list of games, transition, and TV series. And I think Alan Wake
Yeah,
could be a really good one. Like, there's a lot of lore
yeah.
and a lot of
It lends
content that
itself
go.
well. Like for me, it makes me feel of that The Walking Dead, for example. You know, it's they have this ability to make really cinematic and really well done TV shows, and I think Alan Wake as a video game lends itself well to that.
Hmm.
So the source material, they're really good, it seems, at adapting source material into something very watchable.
Right. So I'm definitely excited for that. Then this one here, man, this one really surprised me. EA was really close to being merged with NBC. NBC did offer them, I guess, a while ago, and it just kind of like fell through. That would have been crazy because NBC is huge, and that would have
Yeah.
put them in the gaming market though. But because like they own obviously like Comcast, Universal, like their entertainment kind of business, like movies and TV series, is huge. But to see them almost getting into the gaming business would have been
Oh, and
crazy.
what's really crazy is NBC has Peacock. That's their big streaming service lately for
Yeah.
their TVs and such. What if they started pulling EA games from other markets and started putting them on Peacock? Now you have another service that you have to get EA games.
Right, because currently EA Play is part of Game Pass right now, so that'd be
Hmm.
interesting to see if that gets pulled from that if something like this were to happen. Because EA did come out and say, hey, we're looking to be bought. We're on the market. We're definitely looking. Like it's official. It's been officially been announced that they are looking to be acquired. So it'd be interesting to
Yeah.
see who it is because there's a lot of people in the running for this. Amazon, Apple, Xbox, PlayStation. I would not rule them out. Embracer Group, even though they just made a big acquiry a little bit ago, even though that wasn't that much money for those studios. But there's definitely a lot on the table here, and EA has a lot of IPs. I mean, just look at the most successful ones with Respawn Entertainment with Apex Legends, Titanfall, Star Wars, all those games, you know, and obviously the sports franchise, Madden, FIFA, which we're going to talk about here, that next up. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. But
Yeah. And oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to transition over.
Yeah, same.
Go ahead.
But I was gonna say about FIFA. So EA loses its FIFA name after 30 years, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's insane to me. So the new name is gonna be EA Sports FC.
It's not catchy at all. Now it just sounds like a generic game.
Yeah, it
Like
like what was the football game that came out a while ago last year? It was the
it was like eFootball, I thought.
yeah, something like eFootball, but like now we're looking at EA Sports FC.
Yeah, because it was originally PES and then it became eFootball. So it's just like all these terrible names, and like FIFA is just so well known. And it's just like, but the only difference here is like they're losing the name of FIFA, but they're paying for the licensing and stuff like that. So all your favorite teams and your players and stuff will still be in the next iterations of it. But I'm curious to see now, FIFA, like EA Sports, I guess, FC is now going to have a competition because FIFA can now go license out FIFA to somebody else, and that's going to cause some stir up. They're going to be like, wait a minute, wasn't FIFA by them, and
Wow,
now
this new
the
FIFA looks great. It's not copy pasted anymore because it's a whole new developer.
right. So that'll be interesting to see. But sticking along the lines here of EA, they announced a new Lord of the Rings mobile RPG. It seems like a money grab to me with the whole new TV series coming out soon and
Yeah.
just the hype behind it and how big the mobile market is. it seems like a no-brainer from a business standpoint, but I'm just curious to see how successful that a Lord of the Rings mobile game is going to be.
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure. And like, let's talk about something that's kind of not happened in a while. The Division 2 is a game that came out what in 2018, 2016?
The Division 2 was like 18 or 19?
Yeah, so the Division 2 is having
19.
its first new season. Season 9 is coming out, Hidden Alliances. This is the first new season for video for like gaming in Division since 2020, and it came out on the 12th of May. Like this is something that I don't even think we knew about until like when it was coming out.
Yeah, like when I saw the tweet come through, and I was just like, huh? Like they're really trying to
And
go
me?
back and they're trying to go back and support this game. Like maybe it's because they're trying to build up the hype with the Division Heartland supposed to come out, and then like that other Division game that was like not really announced officially yet. So maybe it's a way to build up hype again, even though like they support this game with like continuous updates, but not like a new
Yeah.
season. It's been obviously two
It's just
years.
been quality of life updates. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cool. Like the Division was always one of my favorite like enjoyable games. I just didn't have nobody to play with, so it was just like, all right, cool, played it, beat it, move on to the next. Like, but if I had a
Mhm.
group of friends that wanted to play that game, I would have stuck around because that game would have been fun to grind out for gear and run through their dungeons and their those extra end game content.
No, I agree. It was one of those games that kind of it was too bullet spongy. It kind of had some of the similar issues that we have right now with things like with Dying Light 2. So, but let's talk about issues. Let's talk about some big blatant issues. So, Battlefield 2042 had some big news this week. They're removing the 128 player count maps and permanently replacing them with 64 player count maps. 64 is the max amount of players now that they're going to do moving forward with all of their lobbies. This is huge. This is like a terrible decision.
Right, like I don't know why they would do this. Like, are they just like they have to do that? Maybe because they're struggling to fill lobbies up, because obviously
Yeah.
there's a lot less people. So they're like, oh damn, trying to get 64 versus 64 is tough. So let's scale back and go back to 32 versus 32 because it'll be a lot easier. That would be my
Exactly.
only thinking behind it. But it was just like 128 people. Like that was a next generation. That was like a next gen feature because like the previous battlefields couldn't really exceed 64.
And now we're going backwards because turns out they ruined their game. So like it just and talking about ruining your game, Call of Duty, the main games themselves, like the console games and the PC games, are actually smaller than like all of them combined are smaller than the mobile market for Call of Duty. Call of Duty Mobile is at 650 million downloads and $1 billion in spending a year right now.
Yeah, it's insane. Like the average player count right now is
It's,
higher on
it's
mobile
insane
than it is Warzone
on every
and
game combined.
the main game's multiplayer at any given moment. I'm just like, it kind of makes sense because like there's more people to have phones, more kids like to play games on their phones, and Call of Duty's a big title. Why not play that on the go? And they can like watching the like I follow Call of Duty Mobile on Twitter. Yo, they release updates all the time, like new maps, new guns, new this, new that, new perks. I'm just like, bro, like this is Call of Duty Online because they're mixing everything from Call of Duty, whether it's Black Ops, Modern Warfare, Infinite Warfare. Like they're bringing mixing maps and guns and operators and all kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's what we need in a console game. Like
Yeah,
that's what I
no,
always
I
wanted.
agree.
But moving on to another mobile game here, Apex Legends Mobile came out of nowhere and was just like, hey,
Yeah,
we're available now. Go download. And I was like, oh wow, it came out on the 17th, and I was like, they did the exact same thing when Apex Legends originally came out. When they shadow dropped, they're like, hey guys, new game came out, and guess what? It's available now. We're like, wait, what? Okay, and go download, go play, and it was a lot of fun. So it seems like it's doing really well. And when it released, it came out with an exclusive champion named Fade. And interesting enough, I was just like, wow, they have the same new agent as Valorant, but okay, but they're completely different types of characters. But I was really confused why they would release a exclusive version of Fate or the mobile, maybe just to entice people to go check it out more.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's everyone's into the mobile market now, and it's getting silly how much like how everything's being designed for that, and it feels like we as console and PC gamers are getting left behind now.
Right.
Developers don't care about us, and we can see that with things like Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty, the main series. We can hell, even League of Legends has a mobile version now.
Right. And I'm not. I don't want to play games on my phone. One, the screen's too small. I don't want to use a touch screen, and then like trying to get like the accessory controller or like a mount like to hook my controller. I don't got time for all that. Like I just want to come home, press my controller, play the game. It's already right there. Don't gotta do anything.
Yeah, I'd
That's
rather
just me.
play in the, and when I'm at home, why do I want to play on that tiny ass fucking screen? I'd rather play on my, big ass TV I bought.
Right.
But
Mind blowing.
let's talk about some other cool games here. Rainbow Six is still keeping going with Siege. Siege now has a new agent, Vector. Um, so that's pretty nifty that they're keeping up with this game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's been
Arma,
out for what?
oh, go ahead.
Rainbow Six has been out
Since
for
college, I think for me.
like 7 years now. I'm trying to look up the release date because I know
Yeah,
it's been
Rainbow
like
Six Siege.
2015. Yeah, so seven
Yeah.
years of content. Like
hmm
that's impressive, man. And honestly, to see the redemption arc, like we talk about it all the time. Like Rainbow Six is one of those games that just was
We
it's
fucked up, so
it's
we're gonna
the
rebuild the game. We
yeah
rebuilt the game. Now we're gonna go back to our original our original theory, and it worked. And they were able to bring people back, and people actually started to enjoy it. Whereas other games like Battlefield, they're like, instead of trying to fix our mistakes, we're gonna continue to try and bandage it.
right.
You know,
We're gonna make it
it,
worse. We're gonna make it worse, and then we're gonna just release a new one because this one was terrible.
yeah. So, but talking about something new, Arma 4 just got announced. So the fourth installment of Arma. Arma is one of those games that have been around for a long, long time, and it's
Right.
one of those big PC realistic shooter games. Arma 4, like Arma 3, for example, had a modding engine. That's where we got things like DayZ and a bunch of these other sort of like fan games. Arma 4
The next iteration.
is yeah,
Be-
I'm excited. What about you?
Right, yeah, because Arma 3 was released back in 2013, and they've had so much content come out for it, and people were just like, "Man, this game's great, but it's getting outdated," and you can see it, and people want the next iteration, and Arma 4 is just going to take it to the whole nother level. Like if they support it the way they supported 3, I think it's going to do phenomenal. It's going to be a game that's going to be around for another 10 years, honestly.
hmm No,
So it'd
I
be pretty
agree.
cool. There's no other details regarding Arma 4. They just announced like, "Hey guys, Arma 4 is in the
It's coming.
works." There no engine. We have no idea what engine is being built on. I'm hoping Unreal Engine 5 would make the most sense for me. But they use the real virtuality engine for Arma 3, but maybe like it's an outdated engine, so it's time to either build a new one or switch to a new engine. And Unreal Engine 5 would be my hope.
Honestly, if they built their own, I'd be fine with it too.
Right.
You know. But let's talk about a game that we've been talking about quite a bit here. Gotham Knights is no longer coming to the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. What does this mean for us? This means that we're probably going to get next gen only. Like it is going to be beefier and better. We're not going to lose a lot of man hours to trying to make it work for consoles that just shouldn't.
Right. They're doing what Cyberpunk should have did.
hmm
Just that I hate to say it. Like they should have just cut ties with previous gen. I know it was stuck right around the because Cyberpunk 2077 came out like a month later after the release of the next gen. So I get it, but it's just like Gotham Knights is like, nope, it's holding us back. Let's get rid of it and let's push this game to the max. And I think we're going to get a really good game out of this. The gameplay reveal when they showed the two characters playing looked really good to me, and I'm really excited.
hmm
I'm just hoping that it does support four-player co-op. That's the biggest question right now that the community has.
Nope. Yeah. And let's talk about next here, Multiverses. This is the Warner Brothers fighter game that
Hmm.
looks similar to it's like a Smash clone, if you will.
Yeah.
It got its first cinematic trailer here. What are your thoughts, Vic?
Um. So obviously, my guys from Shoot to Win are playing this a lot right now, and they've been playing with the developers and all that kind of stuff. They're in like the beta. They've been playing since the
No, no,
first.
it's alpha, I
Oh,
thought.
it was an
The
alpha, but
beta doesn't.
I think they're in a beta now. because it's out. It's like a closed beta. It's not an open one yet.
Okay,
But
because it said about closed alpha on their site, so it's
oh, it might
moving to
be.
open
Yeah,
beta though.
yeah, something like
Open
that.
beta starts in July, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So from their gameplay, because they've been streaming it, looks really good. Looks like a exactly what you said. It's a Smash clone, but it's more team based. It's 2v2. You can play 1v1 and stuff like that. So it has a different concept, and I like that. And it's just a good way to have teamwork as opposed to just every man for themselves. And it's just so chaotic, and it looks fun. Look, the graphically it looks good.
Hmm.
The abilities, the moves, and Warner Brothers has an endless amount of content to pull from and create new character or like put new characters in. So I think it's a game that's going to be around for a while that can get a lot of support, and it's being received really well.
No, it looks like it. I saw people playing with some of the newer characters recently, like the Steven Universe characters, Wonder Woman and Superman.
Man, and
It
the
looks
Iron
interesting.
Giant.
Yeah, no, dude, it looks like an interesting game. I'd definitely check it out because as Smash has now ended its development cycle, we're no longer going to get any more updates for Super Smash Brothers.
Hmm.
So, it's interesting to see. But let's talk about another party game here. Something that kind of surprised me. Fall Guys is now going free to play. It's coming to the Switch and the Xbox and the Epic Game Store in June when it comes free to play.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I bought this on the PS4 and played it for like the first week, but then like I don't really play my PS4, so it didn't really get played much. But if it was on my Xbox or PC for free or whatever,
Hmm.
I would have played it more. And for it to now go free to play and it's coming to the systems that I actually play, I'm really excited to give this a try again because it's a game that I just want to hop in, play, just fuck around for a little bit and just hop off. Like it's not any game that I'm going to take super serious, but it's a fun, silly game. Did you play
No,
it at all much?
I played Fall Guys for probably the first 2 months. A lot of streamers got into it, and some people, and it eventually became pretty. It it had a lot of people, became a little overwhelming at times, and people got so try-hardy that it felt like there was no winning anymore.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I'm definitely eager to give it a try.
next thing up we have here is two games on the Steam Deck
No,
actually surprisingly
no, these
made
are
challenge
no, these are
uh,
two consoles.
two consoles. Sorry, consoles.
Yep.
So there are two new consoles coming out that theoretically could challenge the Steam Deck for its market share here. We've had the Switch, then we have the Steam Deck that's still rolling out for, which was supposed to have been rolled out almost 6 months ago for a lot of people, and now we're still 6 months later, and people who got like first list pre-orders still aren't getting it really. The Steam Deck slow to roll out. There's now a new console called the Aya Neo. There's two versions, the Aya Neo 2 and the Aya Neo Slide.
Hmm.
These consoles theoretically could put the Steam Deck to a challenge and maybe even destroy it.
Right. Yeah, because the specs look really good. I'm looking it up here. It says they're both like PC gaming devices, so they come with an upgraded Ryzen 7 6800U chip and a Radeon
Hmm.
6080M integrated GPU with RDNA 2 graphics. And it says it's capable of 3.38 teraflops, more than double the 1.6 teraflops delivered by the Steam Deck. So it could definitely blow the Steam Deck out of the water if these stats line up and work out really well. I'm actually liking the AO Neo slide. Like that reminds me of the old classic like Sidekick phone where it would just slide up
Yeah.
and you had a keyboard underneath. So that looks pretty cool and definitely something different. I'd just be worried about that breaking so easily. Like I'm just curious how well built these consoles are. But it looks like they're roughly says the AO Neo, Neo Pro, and AO Neo cost 1,000
Yeah,
starting
they're gonna
price.
be way more, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It looks like they're starting at over 1,000. So it's definitely more of like a legitimate PC in your pocket, like even more than the Steam Deck.
Hmm. No, definitely. And they look interesting, and this isn't their first one either. They've actually had, the original console, which came out 2 years, 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So
I actually
it's been
completely
out for a
forgot about
while.
it.
Yeah, same. Like it just kind of went under the radar.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, I was saying yeah, it definitely went under the radar for sure.
And then so moving on from that, we had a showcase last week. 505 Games had their showcase. Was it last week or the week before, actually?
It was last week. I think it was the 17th.
Yeah, so we had a showcase for the 505 studios. We got four big games here that they previewed. Among the Trolls, Stray Blade, Eudian Chronicles Rising, and Miasma Chronicles. So, looking at these games, were there any that actually surprised you and looked pretty cool?
Yeah, Among the Trolls, because I had no idea what it was. I had to look it up. It's a supernatural survival game set in the forest of Finland. So this is like the description here on IGN, as like that what I described there. It's developed by Forbidden Studios, a team compromised or comprised of former Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Vampire Masquerade developers. So it looks pretty cool. It says with the main character being a Finnish American in their mid 30s who returned to their homeland to reconnect with nature. Has survival mechanics will be based around the idea that the folk believe spirits and creatures among. So it's to me it almost sounds like a different type of game like Valheim, in a way,
Yeah,
but we'll definitely see how the
Valheim in a modern sort of setting.
right. So that'd be pretty cool. Stray Blade don't really look that exciting to me. Union Chronicle that's just like it's the building hype for the new game that's coming out. It was just a new trailer, and then Miasma Chronicles says it's a game about a boy and his robot from developers of Euro Mutant Year Zero. So this one seems interesting, but I definitely got to see more before I can make any actual ideas on it.
Yeah. And Miasma Chronicles looks like it looks like a strategy game,
Hmm.
a little more of a strategy game. It looks like top down, sort of like a Divinity style game. It looks interesting though because it's that sort of top down play. The Euden Chronicles, it's a side-scrolling RPG, which looks interesting. But yeah, Among the Trolls, honestly, to me, is really cool because it's going to be co-op. It's going to be one
Hmm.
of those games that's going to have, it's kind of like Valheim, but it's co-op, which is pretty nifty.
Right. Yeah. So we'll definitely have to follow these games as development progresses because these games are slated. Looks like for sometime next year. Most of these are. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I'm seeing there. But so on to some better news here. I think the rest of the show is actually some good news that we got. Nintendo, the Switch finally surpassed the PS4 and became the fourth best-selling console of all time. No big surprises here, but that's awesome, man. Honestly, I mean, the Switch has only been out for what 4, 5 years, I think, and it
Mhm.
still has a long lifespan. And with another model apparently rumored to be in the works, which could be the Pro version or whatever they decide to do there, or the new Switch. You know how they like to come out with consoles named that. So what's your thoughts on it becoming the fourth best-selling console?
I think it's pretty cool, but what's even crazier, it's actually going to be the third here in only a few days, really, because it just surpassed 117 million sales. The Game Boy and Game Boy Color only sold 118 million between the two of them.
Jeez.
So it's actually really close to being the third most selling console here. And then we'll only have to challenge the PS2 and the Nintendo DS, the PS2 being 155 over 155 million and the Nintendo DS being about 154 million.
Right. I wonder if the oh never mind. I was gonna say does the Nintendo DS include all the iterations? But I see the 3DS and the other ones at the bottom there. So no, it
Hmm.
doesn't. So yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of old-fashioned Nintendo DSs that were sold.
Hmm. Yeah, well, the Nintendo DS kind of broke the world there. It was like Nintendo always is. They're ahead of the curve.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a dual screen. One of them was touchscreen. The stereo speakers, the stylus. I mean, it was
Battery
definitely
life was good too.
right. So it was definitely pretty good. Definitely enjoyed that one. But the next topic here, this is big because we finally got some more details regarding PlayStation. They're putting 300 million more dollars into their first party games, and they're aiming to release on multiple platforms. They didn't really give any clarity on this because like what other like are they going to really try and push their PC presence even more? Because like obviously we've been seeing some more releases to PC, but are they now going to like say day one games also coming to PC instead of a couple years down the road? That's what I'm curious
You know,
about.
what are we gonna see? Maybe Ragnarok might come to PC day one.
That would be crazy. But at least you have a
That would be
PS5.
insane. Yeah, I have both, so I'm gonna play it day one no matter what. But like, what if it comes to PC? That's gonna be huge. Their sales are gonna be over double, I bet, easily.
Oh. yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think that's going to help push games to the next, like, PlayStation games to the next level, like in regards to like sales and stuff.
Definitely. And what's even crazier is PlayStation actually surprised me this week.
Yeah,
PlayStation Plus is adding Ubisoft Plus. This means something that Microsoft had as like one of their selling points. Game Pass isn't unique anymore. Game Pass has Ubisoft Plus, but now so does PS Plus.
well, they
So
never had
whether you
Xbox didn't have it. They had EA Play.
Oh, EA Play, I apologize. Well,
Yeah,
there are some Ubisoft games I
they're
thought that you could play through it.
yeah they're coming next month. You're getting Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed Origins and Greedfall or something like that.
Yeah. So like, we have this little tie-in here for Xbox, but now PlayStation also has it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I thought that was huge because like they're bringing like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the Far Cry 6, like all their new releases are going to come right to PlayStation's quote unquote Game Pass for sure.
yeah.
But speaking of their Game Pass, they did announce like basically a lot of their games that are coming to both premium and extra, and it's a long list. But a lot of these ones seem really cool because like you're seeing like Death Stranding, Demon Souls, Ghost of Tsushima's director's cut, Horizon Zero Dawn, the Marvel Spider-Man games. I'm trying to just look through the list. The Last
And
of
I'm out
Us.
here about to get PS Plus, dude.
Right, like now,
Like
now that we see the games, it makes more sense. Like when they just announced, it, we're like, okay, cool. What? But what do you have?
our first party games are coming right away to PS Plus. I
Right,
might get PS Plus. Now I have What if God of War Ragnarok comes to PS Plus day one.
right. Even though they said they weren't going to do it day one, but they can change their
We know
mind.
Sony, they flip flop. Same with Microsoft. Everyone flip flops.
Right, and then they also announced like the third party partners. What I talked about was like Valhalla. You got Batman: Arkham Knight. You got Celeste, Far Cry 3, 4. You have For Honored, Hollow Knights, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which we know is already on Game Pass itself. NBA 2K22, Red Dead Redemption 2, which is pretty big because Rockstar announced that they're trying to invest more back into Red Dead, which is going to be perfect. You got Resident Evil, Soul Calibur 6, The Crew 2, and The Division, which I'm curious why they added The Division 1 and not 2, but whatever. But yeah, there's a bunch of games that are coming out. Definitely check it out. Like here's a link for anybody who is in chat. I don't know if anybody's here today, but we appreciate y'all. Check that out for any of them. But there are some of the games that they announced for like the classic games, which I'm actually excited for. Is like
Yeah.
Ape Escape. Jeez, what a
Ape
word!
Escape is the game,
I
dude.
love that
Was
game.
like that was my jam. I can't wait. Like I might get PS Plus just to rebeat all of Ape Escape.
Right. Yeah, that'd be so
Like
dope.
it's so good.
And then like
And they also have trophies.
yeah, they're adding trophies to some of these games apparently because they announced like the first one, Siphon Filter, which is a classic game from back in the PS1 days, is one of the first games that are getting the trophies added back to these old games. So I was just like, oh shit, like that's
Well,
dope.
not added back. Like they're adding to them.
Well,
Like these
yeah.
have never had like achievements. Now we're gonna get these older games with achievements, which is pretty cool because a lot of people like yourself, you
Hmm.
care about your gamer score or your trophies. Now you can get trophies for things that are older games. So now you get to show off you beat those games with your trophies. That's so cool.
Right, and it's I don't know if Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft has always did that because the original Xbox 360, Xbox One, and now the Series S and X all have achievements on them. So PlayStation is still playing a little bit of catch up, but hey, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And then like some more like they announced like Ape Escape 2, Jack's 3 2 3 5 that like the whole thing. A bunch of these games are pretty cool. The Lego Harry Potter collection, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, the Handsome Borderlands Handsome Collection, BioShock Remastered. Like these are collections of games that are really solid to the gaming industry. So it's really
Yeah.
good to see that PlayStation's like, yeah, man, we gotta hop on board with preserving games and helping people who may have
And
missed them, give them a chance to
and
play them.
they're now a threatening presence to Microsoft.
Yeah,
That's the thing. We're now looking, we like memed so hard on PS Plus, but like they're just like, you guys were just, we were just fucking with you. We're here, take a look. And we're like,
yeah.
what?
And then some of the time limited game trials that were announced: Uncharted Legacy Thieves Collection, Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077, Farm Simulator 22, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and even WWE 2K22. So there's a lot of big new games there that you can check out, and I think they're 2 hours long, so you can play as much of the game as you want that you can in 2 hours. And I think Horizon Forbidden West allows 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken, is what I was reading. So I mean, that was a big update that they announced here for PlayStation, and
A
I
big
make
win,
yeah,
a
that's
huge win.
finally some good news from PlayStation, man. Because we've been talking nothing but negative shit for PlayStation for so long, and it's good to see that PlayStation is here, and it's only going to make Xbox work harder now too.
And yeah, and that's the thing. Competition breeds success. And competition, for example, God of War Ragnarok, they're taking a book out of like a page out of Microsoft book, and they've added 60 plus accessibility features to the new game
Yes,
just to help people who have those issues so that they can play this beautiful game.
right, and that's awesome because this could be on par with what Forza
That's
Horizon
what I
5
was
did.
gonna say.
So
It's nuts.
that's awesome, man, to see that everyone's just coming together and just succeed, and people get the game wherever they want a game and enjoy the games that they want to, or go back and visit games that you grew up with or you missed out on. You have all the opportunities in the world to be whatever gamer you want to be.
Definitely. Now let's talk about Microsoft though. Microsoft is kind of being an upset lately.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? We had, Xbox Live game services went out for half a day or whatever there.
Hmm.
Like so they've been kind of floundering. Well, Bethesda, we were excited for Starfield. Like I was telling you, I was like, maybe we'll finally get like some good solid ready for Starfield action
Hmm.
in this next month with our events.
Yeah.
Nope. Redfall and Starfield are now delayed until the first half, not the first quarter, the first half of 2023. So we're waiting until almost summer of next year now to get these two games.
Right, and I can understand Redfall because we didn't really see much about it other than the announcement, like, "Hey, Arcane Studios is making Redfall." All right, cool. That's the only thing we really knew about it. And then they were like summer 2022. That wasn't really a set in stone thing. So Redfall makes sense, but Starfield really blew my mind because you don't hype in the trailer. You put 11 11 22 like on the dashboard of your ship, like it was built into the game, like, and then like you floundered on it, like you were just like, nope, we can't do it, which makes sense though. Like if it ain't ready,
Ripperoni.
if it ain't ready, delay it because we don't need Cyberpunk 2077
Yeah.
part two. Like we don't need it. But Game Pass update, not much really going on here. We got Jurassic World Evolution 2, which came out last week, so that's available now. So if you like
Looks pretty
the
good.
park builder with Jurassic Park dinosaurs and stuff like that, I've checked it out before and it's pretty fun. I played the first one. I haven't checked out the second one. So first one was fun. I'm sure the second one built off of it. But then the other one you put in here into our chat was Little Witch. What's this game about?
So this looks like which is pretty cool. It looks like a clone of like Stardew Valley essentially meets kind of that Rune Factory. It looks really beautiful. It's a simulation strategy game. It's role playing, but it's like kind of an 8-bit sort of, or not even 8-bit. It's like a full color and graphics, but it's a
Hmm.
top-down game. You play as a witch, and it's kind of like a Stardew Valley style game.
Yeah, it looks like I'm checking out here. It reminds me of like a Game Boy game or something like that, or
Yeah.
like a older generation game like the NES or something.
And it's a Microsoft Studios game, I believe, too. Like it's made by one of Microsoft's like indie developers.
Right.
But
Yeah, this looks
they
pretty cool.
also published it on Steam, but you can get it right now for game preview on
Game
on
Pass.
Microsoft on Game Pass.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Definitely check that out for sure. But one surprising thing that Microsoft announced was there's a new patent that was obviously discovered that they put in for is that they're going to allow people who buy the physical discs to play them without. So like when you put the disc into your console, you have to be connected to the internet. It's going to register like, all right, cool, you own this game. Now you have the license of the game. Now you can download the digital copy of it onto your console and then play it, and you can take the disc out and you're good. And basically the meaning behind this is like they don't want to leave the physical collector behind. People
Yeah.
like me, where I like to have my collections of games, but like I love the convenience of having the digital copy of them.
Well, now I have don't have to get up every time I want to switch games.
Right, and like when I was telling you earlier today, when I decided to go back and play Assassin's Creed One, I thought I had the digital copy of it, and I went to play it, and it was like, "Do you own this game?" And I was like, "Oh, this is one of my disc-based games," and I had to come in here, grab it, go back out there, put it in the system, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't miss this." It was so much easier just to click play and start it up like
Yeah.
immediately.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I agree with that. But I like that it's now going to add that game to your account. So if you have the disc, you can play it once it leaves the digital store. But if you buy the disc, you get the digital copy so you can play it. So it essentially allows you to preserve your own game library, your own game
Hmm.
collection for the future, which is awesome.
Right, because then we don't have to worry about, oh damn, the store shut down. All right, cool. Well, I still have the physical game. I can still play it on
Yeah,
my
I was
console.
playing the gunk and we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we were on show. I was in the middle of the gunk and it just stopped, froze, and then crashed. And I was like, that's going in my review. The gunk crashed. That's garbage. Turns out Xbox went down and they were like, sorry, you can't play any fucking Game Pass game without internet. The second your internet drops, I'm gonna bumfuck you.
Right, which doesn't make any sense because you download the entire game to your system.
Why
Why?
do you have to check the license? You should check it when I start the game, not every second I'm playing the game. How bad is like that could be negatively affecting my impact, like negatively affecting performance of my game.
Hmm.
Why must you check every second? Just if Game Pass goes down, whatever.
Right, it just
But it
doesn't
was
make
it
any
was
sense.
really fucking stupid to me.
But one last thing here in regarding to news is Dungeons and Dragon Beyond is offering 2 free books to celebrate their merger of their acquisition of their digital
Yeah.
version of D&D. So that's pretty cool. Did you download them?
So I have not, but D&D Beyond, if you, I believe it's you have to have the subscription, but Wizards of the Coast is giving you 2 free books permanently if you have their subscription, I believe.
Right. So I mean, it's pretty cool. Anything that's free, if it's part of your subscription, why not
Yeah,
download it for sure?
yeah, it's like games with gold to me, but it's pretty nifty, like Wizards of the Coast is they're pulling back their license for D&D, but they're gonna be like, okay, well, you know, here's a here's a promotion. Get into the game. It's get started stuff essentially, which is pretty cool.
Right. But let's move on to our last section here, our gaming rumors. This first one here is it's not really a rumor, but it hasn't really been officially confirmed by the Respawn Entertainment. But Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel is reportedly to be called Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So I'm super excited, and apparently this game could be releasing in February or March of 2023. So that's going to be here before we know it, and I'm really excited. And I know one of our fellow gamers here, Philipper, he's in the
More
middle.
than one.
I know Philipper's in the middle of playing Jedi Fallen Order right now. Again, he said he wanted to go back and replay it, and he's playing it on the hardest difficulty. It was a really fun game. If you missed it, go check that out. It came out in 2019. Hey, he's in chat. Just finished it. Congrats, my guy. That's definitely a fun game. So I hope you enjoyed it. But what's your thoughts? Did you check out Jedi Fallen Order yet, Roger?
No, I actually have it downloaded off of Game Pass. I just never played it.
Oh man, you're missing out. You got to go play it. It's a lot of fun, for sure.
That's what everyone says, and I probably will give it a try here soon.
Right. Moving on, Silent Hills leaks. Apparently, there's multiple projects in the works, and a bunch of sources are coming out saying, "Hey, it's definitely it's happening, guys. Silent Hill is back." I've never played a
Mhm.
Silent Hill game, so this is pretty cool. Maybe this will be my chance to check out one of those classic, like legitimate horror games. That's going to push my limits.
I'm ready for Pyramid Head to rape me. That's all I'm saying, dude.
So that'll be fun to check out for sure. And sticking along the lines of Silent Hill, because I know before the last Silent Hill got canceled, Norman Reedus was supposed to be one of the main characters in that game, and he may have accidentally leaked that Death Stranding 2 is in development. I didn't know we needed a sequel to that game, but I guess Walking Simulator 2 is needed. I don't know, but hopefully it's much better than the first one. I mean, the first one seems like it's succeeding because they keep adding director's cuts and extended versions and premium edition and whatever. So it seems like it's
Yeah.
good. But
And
go ahead.
last cool news of the day, though, Marvel Midnight Suns is going to be released sooner than expected. Supposedly, we haven't really got the release date yet, but it may drop and they'd be like, it's ready now. And be
Right.
like, wait, what?
Right, because the reason for this rumor is that it was raided the other day in like South Korea, I think, and usually when games get um rated, that
A
means
rating.
they're coming out usually soon. So I'm really curious to see, but we haven't really heard anything much other than when it was announced last year at E3. I was like, all right, cool. I'm excited because this might be a time for me to check out like a this style game because it's like an XCOM with Marvel characters and stuff. So, and with the whole Midnight Suns timeline, it's an interesting time in the Marvel universe. So,
No, definitely. Well, I think that's it for our show today, man. We covered everything for 2 weeks a lot quicker than we thought we were gonna.
hell yeah, good thing it was a much slower 2 weeks, but I'm glad we were able to get through this for sure. And we appreciate everyone who came through, especially you, Philipper. We always appreciate you, and shout out to my lovely fiance for always tuning in. I don't know if she is actually listening, but I know she has it on her iPad out there. But definitely check us out every Sunday at 7 o'clock for a new episode, and co-op stream every Sunday at 12. And we also have our ranked Valorant stream every Monday from 6 to 9. So definitely come check us out tomorrow. But where can we find you, Roger?
Hey, everyone knows where to find me at this point. I think it's twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion, seen below. You can find my Discord there as well as my Twitter.
Yes, sir. And Philipper, maybe we'll get you on next week, man. We'll definitely look into doing that for you. And but of course, check me out at Twitter at MrNeverChillin _. Xbox is XNeverSpaceChillin. Facebook Vic Brubacher. Question, concerns, you want to come on the show like Philipper does, hit me up there. And of course, my Twitch is at MrNeverChillin. Obviously over at Twitch, so definitely check that out for any single player experiences that I decide to stream there. But definitely want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Peace.